Okay, so let's have a little quick rundown of all the equipment we are going to need for our springtime gonk today. So the first piece of equipment you're going to need is one of these toilet rolls. You can use a kitchen towel roll, or you can buy tubing from your local craft shop, but obviously it's easy enough to collect a load of toilet rolls from the bathroom. You're going to need some simple string. I've just got some normal packaging string here, but obviously you can use any sort of string that you like. You are going to need some little beads. So this one is about 1.5 centimeters big. It doesn't really matter how big it is. This is going to make the little nose of our gonk. You are going to need a little wooden ring. So this one is, just measure it for you. This one is 4 centimeters wide, so that is the perfect measurement for our ring. You're going to need some fabric glue. This is one of my favourite glues to use because it's really, really strong and it sticks really quickly. So, and it works for pretty much everything, but just a normal glue, fabric glue should work perfectly. You're going to need some macrame cord. So today I am using Olive Garden from Bilibag Factory, which is a really lovely variegated twisted cord in a pretty olive and sort of a cream colour. And then you're going to need some decorations. So obviously you can use whatever decorations you can get your hands on. These ones I got from the works. So I got this bag of daisies, but they actually do different coloured daisies as well. So sorry, this is a bit messed up because I've used it. There's lots of different coloured daisies you can get there. Really, really pretty. I've also got these decorations, which are so cute. So these are little wooden bees, and they've got a little sticky pad on them so you can stick them straight onto your gonk, but I actually do put a little blob of glue on them just to make sure they're not going to fall off. And then it's the same here with ladybirds. So again, they're little wooden ornaments, really adds a little extra touch of spring to your gonk. And again, they are fully prepared to stick on. They've got the little sticky pads on the back there, but I do tend to put a little dab of glue on just so that it will definitely stay in place. Over here I've got a scrap bag full of white, cream, beige colour cords. This is going to be for our gonk's beard, so really, really good project to use some of your leftover bits and scrap bits that you might have tucked away somewhere. I certainly have a lot of scrap bits to use, so that's perfect for me. You're going to need a brush. So again, this is just a normal pet brush that I've got from a pet shop. It is actually looking a bit sorry for itself. It's lost a few of its little brush bits, but it still works really, really well. So I'm going to be using that. And this is another tool that would be really useful. This is a beader tool. I got this from Amazon, and this is really handy for putting the hanging string in at the end, but you don't necessarily need that. You could use a needle or a crochet hook instead, or I will show you an alternative you can do, but this is just a useful tool to have for your macrame.
Okay, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 2 centimeters off of my toilet roll tube. I do flatten it down first just so that I know that I'm definitely cutting straight across, because then when we put the string on it will get its nice round shape back again. I do about 2 centimeters, as I say. That's usually a good size. So now it's time to cut the cord. So I do 35 centimeter size pieces. It's up to you whether you want to cut a load of these or cut one and then put it on and then cut another, put it on. It depends on the thickness of your cord and how thick you have cut, your toilet roll is, as to how many pieces of cord it's going to need. So I tend to cut as I go and then add them so that I don't cut too many pieces. And what I do as well is I start over any loose bits of cardboard just so that they're nice and secure. So as you can see, the knot that I've put on there, I've tied over a little flap of cardboard that was there. So what we do is we find the two ends of the cord, and then we find the middle of the cord, and then we place that through the inside of your toilet roll tube. And then where the little loop is that's over the top, we're going to put the two ends of the string through that loop. and then we're going to pull it nice and securely. You need to pull it fairly tight, but you obviously don't want to do too much pressure on the cardboard, otherwise it might rip your cardboard tube. So you kind of need to have a little bit of a fiddle around with it to get it right. This is called a lark's head knot, and we're going to do this exact same knot all the way around your cardboard tube. So again, I've found the middle of the string, I'm putting it through the middle of my cardboard tube, and then I'm going to bring the ends through the middle and pull tight. And this is going to be the process for all the way around the tube until it's all nice and full. There we go. So my cardboard tube is now completely full of cord. So what I'm going to do now is all the cords that are hanging down, I'm actually going to push through the middle of my cardboard tube so they're out the other side. So I tend to do just a couple of cords at a time, just to make sure that I've definitely got them all pushed through. And then I spend a bit of time just pulling them all through the other side, because some of them can get a little bit tangled up, and also some of them can get missed as well. So that's why I just do it a little bit at a time, just to make sure that I know they've all gone through. So as you can see there, I'm just spending a bit of time there, just going through individually, just making sure that they've all got pulled through, and they're all pulled through fairly tight as well, so they're not too loose, and they're all roughly the same sort of size. Now they're all through, I'm going to use my pet brush, and I'm going to brush all the cords. So what I do is I hold the cardboard tube with 2 fingers there, just so that I can hold the knots tight, and also make sure that I don't pull too hard that I'm going to rip the tube as well. I have done that before when I've used a different brush, because the brush was a bit vicious. So I'm gently brushing it all out so that it all goes nice and fluffy, and it gets rid of the twist of the string. Just turning it over there to do the other side. So I will continue this process, and I will keep turning it just to make sure that I get all of the strings brushed. I've now flipped it over and spread the cords out so that I can see all the cords in the middle as well, just to make sure that there's no sneaky cords in the middle there that haven't got brushed. So I can make sure that they've all got brushed and they're all nice and fluffy. So I've just given it one last little brush there, just to make sure that all the cords are nice and straight and all going in the same direction. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of string. So this is just normal packaging string, but you can use any type of string that you like. And I'm going to cut about 50 centimeters of this, and I'm going to use it as a gathering knot. So this is going to turn what we've made so far into a little hat. So this part is going to be the start of the little pom-pom at the top, so it's going to make it look so cute. I really enjoy this process. To start with, what I've done is I've just placed the fluffy strings in my hand, and I'm just going to line the packaging string vertically along my little hat, and I'm just going to hold that with 3 of my fingers, and then I've folded it over so that it makes a little loop. Just be careful, as you can see here, I've got some of my strings here tangled up, so I'm just correcting those. So I've got a nice little loop there, and what I'm going to do is I'm then going to start using the packaging string to wrap around my little hat. So you need to leave, I would say that's probably about 2 centimeters, maybe 2.5 centimeter gap, and I'm going to start wrapping round and down and over the little loop. Make sure you've got a little bit of string hanging up the top there, as you can see. You need to pull fairly tight as well, so this might need a little bit of practice, but I'm going to keep wrapping round and down, pulling it nice and tight as I go. And then when you've got it wrapped round as much as you like, you're going to find your little loop again, and you're going to put the end of the string you've been wrapping around through that loop and pull, and then you're going to hold that over to one side, and then we're going to find the string at the top and pull it through. So this is going to secure your knot, and you want to pull so that you feel that the knot has gone about halfway around the little wrapped part. You don't want to pull it all the way through. And then I'm just trimming the ends off, and that is it. So that is a lovely little gathering knot that has really turned your piece into a hat. You can do a little bit of adjusting here, just make sure that you've pulled all the strings through, and then it is time to trim. So this bit is really fun. You're going to need some sharp scissors. I cut off some of the length first, just so it makes life a little bit easier for me, just like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pet brush to brush all the strings sort of out and down, so it starts to get the shape of a pom-pom. And then what I will do is I will start trimming. So I go around the edge first and get rid of some of that length, and then I'll start going over the top. One tip I would say with this is start longer than what you actually want it to be. So start trimming a little bit to start with, so that you don't cut too much off by accident, because obviously you can keep trimming but you can't add it back. So I always start going a little bit longer than I actually want it, and then I will just go over and over and over again until I finally get the shape that I want, just with little trims here and there, and that is really effective for making your little pom-pom. Every so often during the trimming process, I do go back in with my brush just to brush it all back down into the pom-pom shape again, just to see if there is any bits that I've missed, any bits that need a little bit more of a trim. As you can see, I really do take my time with this. I do spend a lot of time on it just so that it gets that really cute little pom-pom shape. Time to move on to that beautiful fluffy beard now. So my preference is using either beige or white string, but obviously you can use whatever colour string you like. I tend to have lots of scraps of white cord from my larger wall hangings, so it's a fantastic project to use up some of your scrap pieces. I like my pieces to be at least 15 centimetres long, just so that it's got enough cord to do the knot that I want to do, and it's going to create that really lovely fluffy long beard. So as you can see there, I'm just checking that that one is 15 centimetres, and then I know that then if my string is longer than that, it will be absolutely fine. So I've folded the cord in half and I've put it round the back of the wooden ring, and I'm going to pull the ends through and I'm going to pull it tight. This is a reverse lark's head knot. So again, I'm just finding one of my pieces of cord. This one looks like I'm probably going to cut that one in half, I would imagine. You are going to need at least 6 pieces of string for this, but obviously it does totally depend on the type of cord that you're using and the size of your wooden ring as well. Basically, I like to have my wooden ring half full of cord so that it creates that really lovely bushy beard. So I'm putting the string in half, I'm putting it behind the wooden ring, I'm pulling the loop over and pulling the 2 ends through and pulling it tight. So now I've got all my 6 strings on there. I do one last check to make sure that all my knots are nice and tight, and then it's time for brushing again. So again, using my trusty pet brush, I'm going to brush one side and then I'm going to flip it over and brush the other side, just so that it all gets nice and fluffy and separates the strings out. So So now it's all brushed and lovely and fluffy. I'm going to use my scissors to create my beard shape. So the way I like to do this is I like to find the middle and I like to cut up at an angle so that it makes almost like a triangle shape. Obviously, if you prefer more of a rounded shape, you can cut it in a rounded shape, or you can just leave it natural and as the ends were to start with if you want. It's totally up to you, whatever design you like. This is just the one that I like doing. So again, I'm taking my time here and making sure I don't cut off too much to start with so that I don't end up with any bits that are too short. So I'll just keep going in and trimming. I'll give it another little brush through just to make sure all of the strings are straight, and just going until I'm happy with it, basically. So now it's time to put our little spring gonk all together. So this is so exciting. This is what we've been working towards. So I'm grabbing my glue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the top half of my wooden ring with glue so that it will stick to the inside of the hat. So as you can see there, I'm squeezing out some of the glue, going all over the top of the wooden ring, both sides of it, just so there's loads of contact points to make sure that it doesn't come apart. And I'm going to pop it inside my hat. You might need to squeeze the hat a little bit to make it a bit flatter so that the ring will fit in there. I'm not putting it all the way in just yet because I'm leaving space for my nose. So that's where I'm going to use my little wooden bead, and I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on there. And I'm going to pop that on the midway point of my wooden ring where the midpoint of the beard is. So I'm kind of putting it towards the front of it as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the hat down so that it kind of holds the bead in place. How cute does our gonk look already? So now I'm going to add some extra decorations to make it really spring-like. So I've got one of my little fabric daisies here. I've chosen a white one, and I'm just putting a bit of glue over the little stalk ends there. And I'm literally just going to tuck that behind the band of my hat so that will stick in place just there. And next I'm going to add my little wooden insects. So as I said before at the beginning, they do have little sticky pads on them, but I don't know how strong they'll hold. So I am putting a little dot of glue on there as well, just to give it that little bit of extra staying power. And you can put these wherever you want on your little gonk. I tend to put one on the flower and one on the band of the hat, but you can put it anywhere. You could put one in the little pom-pom. You could even stick something on the little beard. You can go crazy with this and make the design completely your own. It's so much fun having this creativity, just putting things wherever you want them to be. So the very last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of string to hang my gonk up. So I'm taking maybe roughly 30 centimeters of my packaging string, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my beader tool to go through the hat so that I can pull the string through so that it hangs up nicely. If you don't have a beader tool or a needle or a crochet hook, what you could do is tie the string around where your gathering knot is and then tie a little knot at the top so you can use it as a hanger as well. I'm just tying a simple little overhand knot at the top of my two strings there, just so that the strings are together and makes a cute little hanger for our little gonk. And there you have it, your completed little spring gonk. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you've been able to follow it along. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me, and make sure you share what you make with me as well. Thank you.